everybody, so I'm back again with another movie review for you guys today. This time we're talking about the latest Stephen King adaptation, Pet Sematary. Adaptation, remake, either of them kind of apply in this case, but as a huge Stephen King fan, I am glad to see this sudden resurgence in his work, and we're getting newer adaptations of the stuff that we've gotten already. Like I said, this is a remake slash new adaptation. We did get the first Pet Sematary film back in 1989. I actually just picked up the 1989 version on 4K Steelbook. Had to have a good rewatch of it because it's been a while. Get a refresher for this before going into the new version. So I was really excited to just rewatch this because it is such a creepy horror film from back in 1989. Whenever something's being remade, I think one of the first questions usually people ask, is there any justification for them making a new version? Do we need a new version? But I think in the case of Pet Sematary, it's a creepy enough concept that it would work for a newer generation. Like I said, the first film came out 30 years ago, and it's just for a newer generation, so there's nothing wrong with a 30-year gap between the original and a new version. Fortunately, for the most part, they do follow the source material. They do change a few things here and there, just to give its own spin on things. I do like some of the changes, didn't like some of the changes, but I do respect them for trying to actually do some different things. Like I said, put their new own spin on things and not just make it a shot-for-shot remake, because we've had stuff like that before in the past, and it doesn't justify making a remake if you're just going to do the exact same thing beat by beat. I think they did a really great job keeping a very creepy tone and vibe, not just from the whole undead elements, but just the atmosphere of the Pet Sematary itself was unsettling every time the characters went back there. If you've seen the original film or read the book it's based on, you definitely know about the character of Zelda, and I think the scares for her were vastly scarier in this. Just pure nightmare fuel every time her little part of the story popped up. It was just, like I said, it was nightmare fuel. I'm probably going to have nightmares about it right now. It was probably one of the scariest elements in this version. The animal masks as well were a really welcome addition to this version. Definitely added to the creepiness factor, although you don't see them too much as you'd expect from the trailers. But I definitely enjoyed them. I also really like Church in this as well. Maybe just because I'm a cat person, but he's just a creepy cat. He was a creepy, evil cat, but I still couldn't help but love him, even though he's supposed to be scary. But that's just me. But for me as a horror fan, I definitely feel like this film does a really good job with the tension building, because the tension just builds throughout this film, and then it finally just lets loose for the climax, and then you get all the great horror goodness that you've come to expect from wild Stephen King adventures. And that's definitely where the film is interesting, but also kind of loses me at the same time, that I'll get into in a little bit. Something that really impressed me, actually, was just how good all the performances were all around. I mean, none of the characters actually were really bad at all. Even the kid actors actually really were pretty good as well, especially the daughter character. But Jason Clarke and John Lithgow definitely were the standout performances, especially Jason Clarke. I was really impressed by him because he shows a wide range of emotions just because he goes through so much throughout the story. I mean, he is our lead character after all. But I actually ended up finding myself kind of invested in his character by the end of the film, and yeah, it's like really impressed by that, because Jason Clarke, I've seen him in other things like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and stuff like that, where I just feel like this is definitely one of his better performances I've seen of him so far. As far as negatives go, I definitely wish that there was more character development spent on every other character except Jason Clarke, because Jason Clarke predominantly gets almost all of it, and I wish that they would spread out a little bit more, make me actually feel invested in this family, because other than Jason Clarke, I really don't care too much about what happens to everybody. Gage is kind of just there for the most part. He doesn't really get too much of screen time whatsoever. It's real more relegated to the daughter in this version, who does a good job, but she doesn't really get too much to do. And Judd, who I love in the original, John Lithgow does a great job, like I said, but he's not really given too much. He's just kind of there, just same as Pascal. Pascal is another well-known character, and he does exactly what he's supposed to do, but he's actually, I feel like he's in it less in this than in the original, which is kind of unfortunate because he was one of the more cool aspects of the first Pet Sematary. But he's still good, it's just I wanted more of it. I mean, I feel like this movie could have actually been longer and just spent more time with certain elements, because the movie's like an hour and 41 minutes long. You could have extended it just a little bit more to get us a little bit more development for some of these characters. Maybe there's deleted scenes, who knows. Now, I'm not going to go into spoiler territory, but the film kind of did lose me in the third act with the way that the story was going and the ending. I really wasn't a big fan of the ending. It may just be me, but I'm not sure if fans of the source material are going to like this ending, just because it is so vastly different than what you've come to expect from every other adaptation so far. But let me know in the comment section down below if you have seen the original Pet Sematary or read the book when you see this film, if you like the ending or not, just because I'd really like to get some different opinions about it, just because it may just be me, but I really wasn't a big fan of it. Overall, it's a very good Stephen King adaptation. It's definitely one of the better ones, especially ones I've seen in recent years. I don't know where I'd rank it among them, though, but it's definitely a good, fun horror time. Even if you haven't seen the original Pet Sematary, I think you'll just like it for the scare factors alone. If I was going to give some type of letter grade, it probably would be something like a B, B minus, something like that in that range. Because I know some people were curious about my grading system. I'm working on it, but for now, I'll just say it's probably like a B, B minus. But those are just my quick thoughts on Pet Sematary. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. What'd you think of the film when you see it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Which version do you prefer? Do you prefer this version or the version from 1989? And also, what's your favorite Stephen King adaptation? Let me know. Let's get a discussion going about all that stuff. But thanks so much for checking out my video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to give it a like. Hit that subscribe button so you can update with movie reviews, trailer reactions, unboxings, and more. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.